Hey there, welcome back to Elysium. Today I'm going to show you some cosplay inspiration and tips on how to do a costume of Carlos the Scientist from Welcome to Night Vale. At the start of the show, Carlos is very scientific and almost a little cold as a character, but the further you go, it doesn't take long to realize that he's just a really good-hearted guy who is absolutely enthusiastic about everything around him, and he's so in love with science and in love with discovery, and he's not afraid of anything when it comes to protecting the town and the people that he loves. For me, Carlos is one of my favorite characters of all time. I relate to him on a lot of levels, including that I originally did and still do want to someday become a scientist as well. My field of study would be astronomy, but in the context of the show, I don't think Carlos would even consider astronomy a science. But what really is great about Carlos is his excitement and his passion and enthusiasm. So even if science might not be what you are into, we all have something that we're passionate about. So take whatever passion and energy you get from the things that you love and channel that into this cosplay. Because after all, haven't we all been scientists at one point or another? Carlos the Scientist is a really easy cosplay because a lot of it is just plain clothes. In fact, the hardest part for me was deciding which of my science-y NASA t-shirts I would rather wear for this. Much like my Cecil Palmer how-to cosplay video, this one is more just inspiration and guidelines on how I would cosplay Carlos. We have very little canon description of him in the show, so a lot of it is up to you and your interpretation of what you think Carlos would dress like, or what he would wear, or how he would look. The only canon descriptions that we have in the show are that he has perfect hair, perfect stature, teeth like a military cemetery. Everything about him is perfect. Kind of makes it tricky to cosplay. But the fun thing is, all of that is perfect in Cecil's eyes. So you get to choose, what would perfect hair look like to you? It could be a salt and pepper mohawk, natural textured curls, a man bun. It really could be anything that you would view as perfect hair. One thing to note is, in the show, we are told that Carlos has delicate dark skin. This is really important for the character and for the show, but out of respect, it's really important too that if you have light skin, do not darken your skin to cosplay Carlos. The voice actor Dylan Marin, who plays Carlos in the show and the live touring shows, has actually made a very insightful post about this on social media, and about why it's important that anyone can cosplay Carlos, but how to do so respectfully. I'm going to put a link to his post about it in the description box below, so you can check it out too. So just like in the Cecil video, I'm going to start off with a makeup tutorial on how to turn this into a more masculine character, and I'll even show you how I achieved perfect hair. Last Halloween, when I went as Carlos, my hair was actually dyed silver, and I put some black temporary dye in it, and I slept in braids so that my hair was kind of curly. But this year, my hair is purple for a different cosplay I'm doing for Halloween, and it's also a whole lot longer. So this year, I am going to try Man Bun Carlos, which would be interesting, and I hope it looks okay. As far as cosplaying more masculine characters with short bangs, bobby pins are your only hope. So I followed the tutorial that I did in my Cecil Palmer video, and I'm just starting with that finished look as a base point for adding the face paint beard. So what I'm doing first is taking an eyeshadow palette. I got this one for $1. I'm taking the second darkest brown, and I'm going to start by outlining where my 5 o'clock shadow would be. I find it easier to do this working with your fingers than with the applicator. Don't worry if it looks a little streaky or smudgy, just try to blend it best you can with a brush, but it's going to be covered anyway, so it won't matter too much. Be sure to do the underside of your chin and a little bit down your neck just to add a more realistic look. This beard tutorial I actually learned when I went to DashCon, which, yes, I went to DashCon. So shout out to the Hobbit cosplayers who taught me how to do this. So what we're doing is we're taking a stipple sponge, which I got off Amazon. I trimmed it into a circular shape instead of a square so that none of the edges will be like even and straight. And we are activating the snazaroo with a bit of water and just sponging on the face paint in the area mapped out by the eyeshadow. Now this takes a lot of time and layering, and it might not look good on your first try. I would recommend going light first and then building up the areas where you want the hair to appear thicker or darker. Don't forget to do the underside of the chin and a little bit down the neck, right where you mapped it with the eyeshadow. And where you want the hair to appear longer or thicker, just take the stipple sponge, take a bit more of the face paint, and drag it downwards slightly to give the appearance of longer hair versus just stubble. I tried to really emphasize the jawline since we know Carlos has a strong jaw. And I also tried to give a bit of the impression of like a goatee and mustache. So there you have it. That is a quick and easy cosplay beard using face paint and eyeshadow. Again, it's not the most thorough or expansive way to do a beard, but since it's Halloween, everybody's going to be in costume, so it's just supposed to be fun. No one's gonna judge you if it looks a little funky up close. So for my Carlos outfit, I would just go with my NASA shirt, which is a more science-themed shirt. You can really put on anything. You can go with shirts with science puns, or just kind of geeky-themed shirts. I figure t-shirt, jeans, and sneakers are a pretty good base for Carlos. He's got to be able to maneuver in the desert, got to be able to climb down into lane 5 at the bowling alley. I paired the t-shirt with a flannel. If you are in an area where Halloween is going to be cold, costumes that have layers are a great idea. I chose a pair of glasses because, as Cecil Baldwin himself says, everyone looks smarter with glasses, right? And then, of course, no scientist is truly a scientist without a lab coat, right? You can get lab coats pretty much anywhere around Halloween. I actually got this as an actual lab coat. I ordered it off Amazon. It was a daily deal, so I got it for, I think, $4. Just make sure you get one with pockets to store your ID or any candy that you collect. And especially nice if it has a breast pocket to store all of those illegal writing utensils. Dylan does such an amazing job of bringing Carlos the Scientist to life, so I figured I'd take a little bit of my outfit inspiration from his appearance at the live shows. Safety first is a must for any scientist. I got these goggles at an Ace Hardware for, I think, about $2. And you can either wear them over your glasses, or you can cover up that whole mess of bobby pins and wear them on your head. So if you're looking to have a bit more fun with your cosplay, an obscure fact that we know about Carlos is that he has, at least once before, worn a feather boa and a black dress. It's just a little pop of fun to add to your costume. If you're going somewhere with a Cecil, it would be really neat to match your boa to part of your Cecil's outfit. So one more fun detail that you can add to this costume is to create your own very scientific device. Carlos is always inventing new devices and technology, and it's super easy to invent your own too by finding old technology around your house or at a thrift store and just adding some scientific touches to it. My danger meter is made out of an old transistor intercom remote, and I just added a label with masking tape letting people know that it is in fact a danger meter, and I colored the call button red with a Sharpie because no device is truly scientific until it has a big red button. There you have it. That is how I would cosplay Carlos the Scientist. You are now ready for your own scientific expedition, whether that is standing around studying things scientifically and saying, a lot, or instructing people on what is and is not real. Carlos is such a fun character to cosplay because you get to be excited about everything, particularly existence. So even if you aren't that into science, find what makes you passionate and gets you excited, and use that to just add so much energy to this cosplay. So thank you guys so much for watching this. I hope I gave you some inspiration and ideas to come up with your own interpretation of Carlos. I hope you have a wonderful day, and happy haunting!